Hey, everybody, this is Bob McQuillan. We are on the Fit for Growth podcast, and I'm really excited today because my relationship with this gentleman goes back for decades, and I'm really proud to have him on the show today. His name is Bob Bernotas, probably the top franchise consultant in the country. I'm proud of him for achieving what he's achieved in this industry, and even more excited to have him on the program. Bob, welcome to Fit for Growth today.
Hey, Bobby, great to be here and great to see you, man.
Great to see you too. Hey, I wanted to ask you. I wanted to just kick this off old school. You and I go back. We've been franchisors and with a number of different franchises, right? And that gives you a purview of through a different lens. Being now a franchise consultant is a completely different animal. What have you learned in your transition, and what would you advise other franchise consultants if they're making the move to maybe beware of, or just advise of maybe a hurdle or two along the way? And I'll let you take it from here.
Well, when you're representing a brand, I mean, I mean, there's sales involved in that, and franchise consulting has absolutely nothing to do with sales. You're just trying to guide people into the right potential concept. And my transition, I mean, shoot, goes way back initially to West Coast Video. The first concept I was ever involved in, December of 1986, I opened my first unit in Germantown area of Philadelphia, and it did well, so it allowed me to open a bunch more that I developed. So I really started as a franchisee, in multiple concepts. It was in one with you,
Right.
and
Two separate ones.
yeah,
We
two
were a
two
part of.
separate ones, two separate ones. One as franchisee, and you were part of the executive team there, and I was a franchisee with that concept. But then we moved into another one together and bought controlling interest of that brand and grew it some. But yeah, massive difference between that side of the fence and this side of the fence. I enjoy both, but honestly, I enjoy this more. And it gives me also the opportunity to keep my ear to the tracks and see concepts that I might like. And as you know, I mean, I bought a concept called Game Day Men's Health. Bought 6 of them. Developed a couple of them so far. Looking for the third location. My total involvement in that is a 1-hour Zoom call per week at this point. So it always allows me to see brands. Love to get into one of the brands that that you're part of right now. And of course, I'm locked out because I have a non-compete because of my involvement with Game Day Men's Health. But I would say probably the thing that is so different is the fact that I'm on the side of completely on the side of the prospective franchisee at this point. I'm trying to see it through their lens in identifying something that's going to be a good fit for them. It has to fit their budget. It has to fit characteristics they're interested in as a business, the characteristics of the role they want to play in the business. Do they want to jump into something on a full time? Most of the clients I work with are looking for semi-passive. They want to stay in a job. Either they have to stay in a job, or they're making great money. They want to stay in a job, but they want to start building something on the side, maybe an off-ramp from corporate America in a year or 2 or 3 down the road. So I would say that's the major difference.
And you had mentioned our brands, I think it's a great segue. So let's talk about that. Let's jump into the fact that you're pretty much selling sequel brands across the board. I mean, we've got Beam, obviously, which is a great recovery type of product mix with red light therapy and sauna. We have Body 20, which is EMS, electromuscular stimulation, which I was a partner in that business. And then obviously the CEO of Sequel, Anthony Geisler, bought that. So it's been a nice transition here for me to look at that perspective. We also have a couple of the brands that you have just taken off with, which is ULC, Ultimate Longevity Centers, as well as Pilates Addiction. And then we have iFlex Stretch Studios. So talk to me about selling those brands and your experience with our organization, and certainly want to understand from your perspective, how has that experience been for you?
I mean, honestly, it's been a really easy process. You guys have an all-star team, an all-star cast executive team. I mean, I haven't seen an organization put together this type of group and put it together as quickly as they have, obviously, led by Anthony. And I mean, some of the people that you've brought in, and some of the big names that are now affiliated with Sequel brand is really exciting. But when you have that type of organization, getting candidates, getting clients interested in concepts like this is just, it's a simple process. What I try to do with all my candidates is help them understand what's behind the curtain, what's important when looking at franchise opportunities. And when you're looking at any franchise, there's a commonality there. The first third of franchisees to get into any system will universally do better than the final third that get into any franchise system. Because what happens? All the best territories are chosen first. So the difficulty when you're looking at franchising as a whole, especially at brands like you guys are offering, uh, they sell out so quickly. I mean, is ULC? I think it's the fastest growing brand in the country right now.
It was at one time, and then as you mentioned, I mean, we still have, I mean, 700 territories left. Those first 200 to 300 are pretty much the low hanging fruit, and as you mentioned, everyone's attracted to those territories. But this brand with the names attached to it, Gary Brecka obviously being a big one in longevity, it's going to be we're going to have years ahead of us to continue to sell.
Yeah. Well, when considering, how your brands are growing, and a lot of territories are starting to sell out, but there's still a ton of really good territory left, obviously. But when you see a brand selling that quickly, it tells you something about the brand. People aren't stupid. I mean, it starts with the franchise investors, savvy people who have bought other brands, owned other brands. They understand the industry. They're typically looking for ROI, earnings. They're not focused on what the widget is, as long as it's ethical, provides a valued service to the community. And these brands can clearly be operated on a semi-passive basis, which from my standpoint, from my clients, 90%, that's what they're looking for. And when you look at, a brand like ULC, the Ultimate Longevity Center, from my perspective, being in this category to an extent with Game Day Men's Health, it's easy for me to share with candidates what I'm experiencing with Game Day Men's Health. And shoot, my first unit's been open 18 months now. Last month, I think we did 124, and that drops about 30% to the bottom line. And by the way, Bobby, I'm only open 3 days a week. Okay. So
Wow.
when I go to a fourth day, as membership continues to build, a fifth day, 5.5 days, I mean, there's already units doing over $200,000 a month. And the brand's only 2 years old with their franchising division. So my point is, Game Day is only a fraction of what ULC is doing. Okay. Game Day is hormone replacement therapy, ED treatment, weight loss, peptides, but just for men, focusing on men. ULC is focusing on men and women. Then you have Gary Brecka's involvement. Then you have the apothecary selling all the products. Then you have the playground with hyperbaric chamber, cold plunge therapy, red light therapy, red light sauna, IV drip therapy, and all the other modalities that it does. And if you look at, what Game Day Men's Health is doing, and then factor in women, then factor in an apothecary, and then look at a brand like Pause or Restore Hyper Wellness and how well those brands are doing. I mean, I just read something recently. The average Pause is doing 1.8. So if you factor in that side of the business with this side of the business, I mean, I of course can't talk about numbers, but I think the upside is phenomenal. What this could potentially do. As you know, I put a candidate into this brand, and he's a doctor. Has a couple practices, has some weight loss clinics, but he spent 2 years putting together the protocol to launch his own longevity centers. Okay. He came across me. I introduced him to ULC, and he looked at this brand and said, I can't compete with this. So he scuttled all that. What did he buy?
13
I think
units.
it's 13
Yeah.
units.
Well, I mean, and that's the other thing. And everything you said, thank you for that. I couldn't encapsulate it any better because I mean, you basically wrote the playbook for why someone should buy one of these brands. And the big thing going in, Bob, is as you know, one of the major things for everybody, it's really number one question: how do I make the door swing? What's attracting people to my brand? I don't want to be a me too versus some of the other brands you mentioned. What's going to make that door swing? If you know anything about longevity and supplements and things that are great for your body, like hyperbaric chamber and sauna and red light therapy, Gary Brecka is the guy. He's got over 4 million followers, and we're also attached to Life Force, which is also a major feather in our cap. So you kind of hit all the buttons there, and you're making me excited even through your description of how the thought process went for you and your client.
Hey, look, I would buy this myself. And I mean, if I see a hot concept and it makes sense, like I'm looking at a couple different things for my daughter, potentially
Sure.
now my second daughter. She has her MBA. She's 27, has her MBA, and she's attending bar
She,
right now.
she's just a
It's killing me.
stepping stone to set the world on fire.
Yeah, I mean, I would have bought this brand myself, ULC, if I didn't own Game Day. And maybe one of the other sequel brands we're gonna take a look at, but I mean, I think they're all really solid opportunities, and I mean, ranging pretty significantly in price range, so it could fit a lot of budgets. I mean, you tell me, where are you with what's the least expensive brand? iFlex?
I have Flex Stretch Studios, correct?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
we're good. We've got 16 people in the process right now to open the units, and we'll have 20 additional units open by the end of the year. That brand is just getting started.
yeah.
And the exciting part about what we've done is, it's only been a little over a year since we started this, right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing. And
That's
we've sold
mind-boggling.
300 plus Pilates Addictions, a brand very well. We've sold over 200 ULCs, and the other brands we purchased challenging situations from the other brands and righted the ship. So it's taken a year to get things, to where they really needed to be from a challenge management situation before they were purchased. And that's the exciting point of where we are today.
When you look at Pilates, I mean, the category just overall with the numbers for instance, Club Pilates is doing on a per unit basis, and how that brand has grown exponentially. But just love the category overall. But the numbers are pumping out, and the resales of some of these things that you see are phenomenal. The multiples that they're getting. Then you factor in what's happening, and Pilates has been the top category in boutique fitness, bar none, head and shoulders, virtually above everything else, has continued to grow. And then you factor in modern Pilates that has really grabbed hold and is blowing up across the country. It's just more aggressive, so young people are getting into it. Whole bunch of NFL players. I don't know if you've seen this, but talk about Pilates, how it's improved the game. I think all the NFL teams have incorporated Pilates into their training in some capacity. Consequently, these players are talking about it. It's getting guys involved in Pilates. So love the numbers that are coming out of Pilates Addiction, one of the most reliable things that you could possibly get into. Other brand's great too. I mean, I'm really excited about Body 20. You know a lot more of the history of that brand than I do, but
Sure.
what's happening with it now, the fact that Sequel acquired it and put it on their platform. And I think for your listeners, and it's important to understand, when you see an organization like Sequel that provides the platform that it does for brands to grow, it's an anomaly. It's not something you typically see out there. And I can't stress with people enough. It's just an absolute world-class organization, providing the infrastructure to scale, providing the capital. The unit economics on some of these brands are phenomenal already. And then it's just a matter of growing these organizations. And what Sequel has put together, I'm incredibly excited about. And my focus predominantly has been on Sequel brands. I'll tell you that. So I'm putting a lot of people in your brands because I'm really focused on the brands, because I just think putting my candidates in these brands is doing right by them, in my opinion. Okay. I'm putting them, I feel, in the best position to succeed.
It's why I'm here, Bob. I mean, when we sold Body 20, my partners and I talked to Anthony Geisler, and it's Anthony, our CEO and founder, he just thinks in a different manner. And that's why when I looked at something, I said, I was, retired and thinking I was hanging him up, and I was going to play golf and sail off into the sunset. And I'm just looking at the way he puts things together. I mean, he had 90 people on payroll, like before he achieved $1.
Yeah.
I mean, now we're at the point a year down the road, he's funded every penny of this organization. And he's brought teams over, the marketing team, advertising team, for operations, training, education, everything to a T, and didn't scrimp on anything. I mean, you've got Sarah Luna, who was really the top person in his organization from a brand perspective, led Club Pilates, has brought her ace team over to run Pilates Addiction, right? And Ryan Junk, who's basically was, acting as his
All-star
COO
team,
person. Yeah,
all-star
yeah,
team, yep.
amazing. So that's what excited me too, and
And
the future is
how the
really
hell
bright.
did he convince you to I mean, you don't need to do this, brother. So there had to be something special about it.
It was special in the fact that if anyone is going to take a risk like he took
Yeah.
to do this on his own without needing funding, I'm like, that is unbelievable. And here's the other, and it basically it parallels with what you just alluded to. It's you're putting your clients in our hands because you believe in the system and you know they'll be treated right. And I couldn't imagine a swan song, a better swan song, if I were to go out with an organization to be with a company like this that's actually going to do everything that they can to take care of the incoming franchisee. The support is going to be there, right? I mean, from an advertising perspective what's going to happen. From when it comes to the website, when it comes to every detail of an organization, training, education, preparing franchisees to get out and basically be an owner and motivator and manager of their businesses, that it's going to be done the right way. So I thought, if I could ever be with a brand like this, I mean, it's a dream come true, really.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm doing it. I'm still kind of young. I do have one question that I want to get to before we wrap up here. You, above anyone that probably I know, you're a workoutaholic. You're a maniac in the gym, right? I mean, unless you've really changed. I mean,
Used to be, brother, used to be.
you
Not quite.
you've yeah, but you've got a physique that, for your age would rival any 40 something year
Don't
old.
start telling people my age, man. Come on.
I didn't. I said would rival a 40 something year old. And so what I want to ask you is, you're looking at all of this stuff, and obviously you're doing things to create a better synergy for your body, to live longer, right? To continue to enjoy life as the years go by. How does ULC impact your thought process, and what of those tools have you implemented in your daily life that is offered from ULC?
Yeah, well, I mean, the supplements before you at the very beginning of launch, I jumped on Gary's site and I have all the supplements coming to me, and it's just I mean, there's package arrives just about every other day. So I'm taking the supplements. I have to be a little bit careful. I mean, I had prostate cancer and had my prostate removed and clean. It was 9 years ago, nine and a
Sure.
half years ago. But so I got to be a little careful with something like that. But yeah, I love the whole longevity thing. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but I started a company back when it was 99, and it was a weight loss concept. Manufactured and distributed dietary supplements, not only in the U.S., but we got into 13 total countries. But started out with weight loss, but evolved into anti-aging products, longevity products, and that was just at the I mean, it was too soon at that point. So, but I saw what was going to happen, and I've been waiting for longevity to really emerge. And now you're seeing some of these mom and pop units. And I mean, I don't know if I mean you've seen some of the numbers, I guess, behind some of these small chains, 2 and 3 and 4 units that have emerged, and some of
Yes.
these, I mean, conversations I've had with them, I don't believe they know what they're doing, but the numbers that are coming out of them are unbelievable. So I can't imagine when you combine, you know, Anthony Geisler, Gary Brecka, all the financial resources behind this company and what it's put together. I'll give you one final thing on ULC. I get overly excited about that particular brand. But with Game Day Men's Health, I had to we had to get a lab license. It took 8 months in New Jersey to get the lab license the first time through. Getting a second lab license, we just got it, and it took 7 months on the second unit to get a lab license. Some states you can't. All that is taken care of, and I mean, that is such a massive thing, I can't stress enough. I have to have a doctor's involvement. I'm paying the doctor for each clinic that I have open, $4,000 a month for a couple hours of his time a month. Okay, so that's 8,000 right now, and by the time I have 6 open, it's gonna be a lot more, obviously. But, all that's taken care of. Medical techs, nurse practitioners that'll, run it. All these people are taken care of, embedded into this brand through Life Force. So all that side of the business that complicates the hell out of it, it's being handled for the franchisees. That's why you can have people come into this brand on a semi-passive basis, somebody with a background that has absolutely nothing to do with this, step into this brand, have a lean labor model that they're operating, and have a potential upside, financial upside that can be absolutely massive. I mean, I love what you guys are doing. Sorry to get so crazy about this one brand, but I
No, no. Our part it's a really good point. Our partner Life Source is certified in every state, and as you mentioned, it basically knocks down any hurdle from a certification
yeah.
standpoint, and certainly saves a lot of time. And time is the most important and critical thing when you're opening a business. Every day that you don't open is costing you money. So that's a great point, Bob. Any parting thoughts as far as the industry, as far as any advice? I'm hearing. I call this consultants corner. It's I want to work with the best people, listen to the best franchise consultants, and if they've got a nugget or two to pass on to other consultants, you jumped into this fray not too long ago and quickly rose to the top of the heap. And so, is there any other, without giving away all your secret sauce, is there any nuggets you'd like to share for other franchise consultants out there?
Honestly, there's no secret sauce. It's just, I focus on brands that I think are going to benefit my clients the most. Brands, and I focus on ROI earnings. I don't give a damn what the widget is as long as it's ethical, provides a valued service to the community. And I tend to focus on brands that offer a semi-passive model simply because most of my candidates, most of my clients, that's what they're looking for. But I've gotten so excited about, certain categories of franchising and so much of this, Bobby, as you know, it's about timing. Like I said at the beginning, being able to identify tier one territory, I think is absolutely critical because the last thing that's sold are the tier three territories. And there's so much good tier one territory. I want to grab as much tier one territory of sequel as I possibly can from the benefit my clients. So, getting it at the right time, because when you start hearing about a brand, as you know, if a brand is it rises above the radar and you're hearing about it, 9 times out of 10, the opportunity is over. It's already sold out in the market. So people like often will tell me, "Hey, I want to get into Subway. I want to get into some brand that I recognize." I'm sorry, that ship sailed a long time, and believe me, you don't want to get into Subway. You want to find a brand that has all the elements in place, yet has tier one territories still available. So that's the best advice I can give to I try to give to my clients.
Well, that's great advice. All of our brands have tier one territories available. Bob, thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you getting on the show here with Fit for Growth, and then more importantly, the Consultants Corner, which I think is it's really the passion behind what I do, because my relationships with someone like yourself and the other franchise consultants out there are really important to me, and they're lifelong lasting too. So, brother, appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And we will see each other next month.
Great seeing you, Bobby. Thanks a lot, man.
All right. Take care.